שלום רבה.
אינכם עוברים כרגע בשידור. בסיום נתקו את הקו.
Shalom Aleichem Shloime. I think was also on the way, and the Sukkah.
A lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic. So I was going to be on time. I gave it a fancy name today. Phase 1. And Avoidas Hashem. Actually, we're talking about it over a year already. Every time people ask, what am I supposed to do? Maybe to feel it's what I'm doing. It makes sense. But it comes to where's phase 1? Where do we start off with this whole day? So let's sum up where we're up to. Last time we were speaking about, you weren't here. We're speaking about the powerless, the helplessness, the leidigkeit, as we call it in Yiddish. That is the essential part of Avoidas Hashem that will force me connecting myself to the Menschle. Without that emptiness, I won't even look for him. As long as a person has a dream, he'll be able to fill his emptiness with any doing, as I call it, called substances, God forbid. Without connecting to my higher power, I'll always keep on looking for it. So we decided last time, the Moshe says, number 1, you have to know this is part of your life. Number 2, as long as you're trying to fix it, you're going wrong. Why? So Moshe said, Al tekalkel, ech lo mekalkelim, al tetaken. If you're trying to fix that hole, black hole as we call it, you're going to mess yourself even more. So what do I do? Survival. We try to rescue. Atzuli, we try to rescue what we have. We shouldn't make the matzah worse. The more I make the matzah worse, it's tazveni yomi yomayim azvekel. The more a person tries to grab onto physicality and go away from spirituality, the more he gets, it takes more time to get back. That means he stretches out the talich even more and more. The more I don't try to fix and I face my bears, as we said, I face my challenges, the more and more, every time, the challenges will be there, but every time the challenges will bring me to closer spirituality of myself. So Moshe called it sakuna. You have to lay all the time in a danger. Also, when a person is in danger, he must call Hatzula. Hatzula won't take care of the problem, but it shouldn't get worse. And then you take off to the hospital. So we have to be all the time in a matzah of Hatzula. Then I look for the only thing that fills up that space is connecting to spirituality, which that is chelik elokayim emal of every yid, and that is endless, it's boundless, and it has all the power in the world, all the simcha has in the world. Start off. So where do we start? So the Mishnah says very simple: Kol sheyeh chet ikademes lechachmusa, chachmusa miskayemes. Kol shechachmusa ikademes liyusay, ein chachmusa miskayemes. I had a shir from Shimon Rosen. He asked the Gdolim, when does chinuch start years chet? When do people start teaching years chet ikademes lechachmusa? That means if you didn't teach years chet shnei chachmusa, we're in trouble. So usually everybody starts off with chachmusa. Kademes, the first teaching, learn them. People tell me, don't tell them about the derech, it's very dangerous, it's very this, very that. It's actually what in the Batanir says in the place, he wants to change it to Ahavas Hashem. Because not here, you're not supposed to speak about here. Let's talk about Ahavas Hashem. But that is also not the. So the statement. So ik help net Yashir. So the
changes the house.
Right. So Hashem has a certain spirituality, which is looking. So the Bartanir says in the Prat why we say Ein Udam Loimed Elisha Libe Chufetz. Person never learns only what his heart wants to. So anyone that knows the danger that he's in, and he's afraid he shouldn't go into danger, and he uses the Torah in order to connect to such a place that I have power, I shouldn't get into the dangers. Just as in using the Torah for connection, as the Zohar Kodesh says, it's called Tayag Mitzvahs, Tayag Itin, Eitzes, in order to connect myself to the Baruch Shalom. So everything that I'm doing, if I'm davening, I'm learning, everything that I'm doing outside is always, that gives me a connection. So then is Chachmus and is Kayemis. That means what we're teaching till now. If we didn't give phase one, actually, what am I supposed to do? I'm learning, just like I'm learning a program on programming. I'm learning program on English and just keeping up and adding on another few points to my degree. But I myself is just filling myself up that empty space. That's not enough. As we said, if you're busy filling up your empty space, you're farthering away your goal. The more you're filling up your connection. So anything that a person learns, actually when he goes to learn it, he has to learn it before that. Why is he learning it? Because of his danger that he shouldn't lose connection with himself. So we can even learn the Echad. So we can learn anything that Chazal said away that we must learn. The Echad Kodelet. That's the whole Mishnah and Uvis. Because if a person won't learn the Echad, he won't be able to connect himself to society. Then comes the Torah itself to connect to the Baruch Shalom. But when they connect to the Baruch Shalom, not because we want to be a tzaddik, we want to feel up, just the opposite way around. We're afraid that this world where we are will take us into a place of completeness as everything, as the world can give me whatever I want and nobody's going to stop me. So when I take the Torah also to that direction, actually instead of building me, it might be ruining me. That means kol shechachmusay, kol sheyusay kademus lechachmusay. So he opens up libe chufetz, and everything what he's learning, he wants to know how to connect to the Baruch Shalom. Yes, Hashem means connecting to the Baruch Shalom. So Sambas calls it to see, yes, to see the Baruch Shalom in every part of your life. Then you're using the Torah not to fill up your knowledge, not to show off. You're using the Torah actually to connect yourself. Then the Torah will also help you see your helplessness, and the Torah will help you more to connect yourself. Both things. I always say that the Yosef, as a small child, my father had pamphlets from Bruches Ve'eduas, they call it, from the Yosef, that he used to say Bruches Torah every day, a special hole. And I looked inside and I saw that Yosef says a bunch of help me. I should be able to put on film, I should be able to watch Shabbos. And today is such a day that even such a low life as I am can also come. I didn't understand what's going on as a child, so I thought maybe Yosef, the first Spinka Rebbe, was busy or maybe going. I didn't know what's going on. Till one day I became older. He says, no, this is, the Yosef says this every day. So then I went the other direction. Wow, he's ready to talk such things. So I went in. He also has this. Till I started understanding that it's just the opposite way around. He took the whole mahalach. As long as you're going to fill up your tank, you don't see your danger. You don't use the Torah for connection. So I actually started off his day how in danger I am. Also mitzvah achas, sechias atzmi, kaf schias, also avoida. So it changes the whole picture. So the Rebbe used to say that Afochbo, the killable. You should find the Torah, everything. What is killable? She'ein lechu midah Torah v'haimena. First thing you're going to find from the Torah, she'ein lechu midah Torah. The Torah will show you your helplessness, and then you're in the right direction. And B'chal the Baal Shem Tov, the last words was Al Taviyani Regel Gavi, was always busy using the Torah to show him his shiftless, to show him his helplessness, his powerlessness, as we say, in order to connect himself to the Mashiach. So as long as a person is still busy to fill up something, so where's the stage one, as we said first?
This is just the baseline.
This is the baseline, so we got it. So someone asked Rebbe, tell me, where do we start off? And he said, Lo le'shaber. So then we're not doing anything anymore, anything either. So he says, what is lo le'shaber? When a person, we're talking about this, at the end of the day, a person sees himself with the helplessness, the choice that he has to help his helplessness is one of the two ways, that empty space. And what you call it, he wants to keep on to his gava, he wants to keep on that arrogance that he can't do. So he uses one of the two ways. Either he goes into efkerus, or does all kinds of stupid things, angry, kas, machloikes, lashon hara, chiles, and starts doing things you're not supposed to do, and if it's against the Torah, it's against kashrus, whatever you want, and robbing, stealing, and doing all kinds of stupid things. We don't have to, as we say. Or there's another way that he picks out. He goes into the dumps, he goes into the depression, he goes into atzvus, which is also the bullshit taught us that is a chelik of godless, that a person's trying to keep on to that try to move me out of that fills up the holes. It doesn't fill up the hole, but it keeps on filling it up with more and more and more and more and more. If you ever read about addiction, and they're all hiding all the time. I was reading something about addiction. They had a very big lawyer. He was very successful, and when he used to get drunk, and they didn't know how to get through to him. And whenever he came, it was always, a lawyer has already 10 mahalchim before you talk to him. He has already 10 ways how to get you off track. And so they decided to take the whole family together, and they called him to a friend where he used to go and drink a bit. And the friend calls them, so why not in the middle of the day? The lawyer leaves everything, walks into the friend's house, and suddenly sees around the table all his wife, his children, his father and mother, his shver, everybody sitting there, and daughters. And he sees two places empty. The guy that invited him, his friend, a very chashuv person, and for him, so he sat down. And he said, it was very quiet, he got the air, and the woman's taking care of it. He said, well, anyone has something to say? And everybody started reading letters they prepared to tell them how much they like him, what this and that and that and this. And going around, he was sitting there with his eyes down. And when everybody finished, so he asked his friend, can I go? And nobody knew what's next. Everyone's looking at one at the other. Suddenly, through the door comes one of the daughters, 8 years old. She heard the such a sifa, so she also came there. And she says, Daddy, I also want to read. And he looks up and sees a child of 8 years old. It's not nice. You shouldn't do that to me. And they say, we didn't call her. She walked in on her own. Well, Daddy, listen to me. Okay. So she starts reading her letter. And she says, you're the best daddy in the world. You give me whatever I need. But Daddy, do you know that when I'm in school and everybody's calling me that your father's drunk, and your father's this and father's that, help me there. I shouldn't be ashamed when I'm wrong. And that did the work. That means as long as the person is not ready to focus himself, always go in to deny everything. If chaos, he keeps on going, whatever can do, or he goes into the dumps and just can't get him out. As a matter, the more we know the sakuna, that means lishaber is actually what to get broken is either Avoidas or Yish. That's actually what people usually do to run away from their. So Sukta Busha, how do we? So you're talking about something. What should I do? The Busha has 3 things we must do for it. Number 1, he calls it Tzaddik Emes. When we say Tzaddik Emes, though I'm not talking about myself now. No, I was always hard to speak about Tzaddik Emes. That shouldn't. It's one of the dangers. Suddenly people think he's talking about. Here it came out the jackpot. What he wants. Number 2, the Moshe calls it Chavayon. You have a midrash sounding. Number 3, the Moshe called it Asiyah. You have to be busy doing things. Because he said, I'm not waiting for my chassidim to do wrong things because they're not into it, more than that they shouldn't have time for it. So we'll start off, what does Tzaddik Emes mean? Bush used to say Tzaddik Emes means he's telling you the truth that he's not better than you. As we said before, Yosef, Bush Befat, he had a worker that was working for him. And one day the worker said he wants to stop. We asked him a lot of pitzuim, as they call it here in Israel, compensation, disabilities, or exercises, and Bush for nothing, and he didn't throw him out or whatever it is. And the Bush was so. He said, well, soon the stones in the wall of my house will also ask for disabilities because they were here for me all my years. Anyways, it was a very nasty story, and they paid him off, and the guy is off for wage. After a month, suddenly comes back, the person, speaking to the Bush, how are you, this, that, and the Bush is speaking to him. And there was someone standing there, the Bush, I don't understand. This guy, obviously, is gesinnt, he ruined your life, and he was smiling to him. So the Bush answered, "When ich chiveton, et chiveton." That means every time I have to take it to my emptiness. Actually, if I have something wrong, instead of blaming others, instead of going into Avoidas or whatever it is, or going to the dumps, I can use it as a opportunity to. Means that he gives it to me at right timing, the right place, the right people. And he gives me the courage to attend it. I just have to believe in that. One that's a Tzaddik Emes is living that way his life. Once we speak to him and he connects with me, he doesn't come to me, Shabbos, wie bist du gegangen? That doesn't connect to me. Once he connects to me, this is something that you can't fool anybody. It's either you connect or you're not connected. So then automatically it starts influencing anybody, because as the ones that are addiction, they've called to these places because they're the first ones that are ready to accept them. I don't know if you know, in these rehabs, they usually take the ones that were addiction and run out of it, and they use them to sit down because they schmooze very, very, very. You can't tell them any lower message. They don't work. I mean, that actually where it opens up. That is, so Busha calls that a Tzaddik Emes. So nobody's gonna be happy here to be that Tzaddik Emes. Busha just used to add on. But I have one problem. You don't believe me that I was there. And problem 2 is, I must have a chava. Chava means I have to I should be able to talk about my failures. And I have a problem, and you're all talking about your failures, but if I'm going to tell you what I am, you're all going to run away from me. But that is also part of the deal, that actually I must have also Tzaddik Emes talks about it, and I also have Chavalim. That's actually the 12 steps, as they call it these days. They're sitting there, Ниתן, they're sitting there, all of them, and we're ready to be open. Says the Bush, but that itself is not enough yet. Why? Because that is Chachmusa. And that is Chachmusa itself. without a master, chachmusim meribim b'maser, is ein chachmusim eskemes. It also won't help. Well, why? We're here in the olam asir. Olam asir means because God created the world not for maluchim, and not for srufim, not for the spiritual world. He created this world for the materialist world, because God wants in this place that I am in the lowest place the person is mimamakim, Kosich Hashem. He wants us to recognize him, dafka in the lowest place that we are. We should mebet and shoel shivat alechu gam shom yotchu samchani. Rusha says every time that a person is in that helpless situation and he feels a Gehenna, as we call it, that is the Gehenna that's waiting. And if in that helplessness where he is, he connects to such higher power, gets such koiches, he's not going to be ready to sell it for anything. That is the Gan Eden. That means haskan atzmachu beprozdo kedei shetikunus letraklen, says the Purus, not kedei kula hai v'ulai. We're not sure you're going to go into a traklen. That means traklen is the oilam habas. They say you live in this world, in the prozda, but you should know this world, the prozda, is the oilam haba. The more, whatever you're going through is actually, it's a sample of oilam haba. That means anyone he's living in a Gehenna, doesn't find himself, and all day he's eating himself up. This the fire dort nezana sach gresa. The fire there will be much more. You can double it as much you can think. It's also not enough. And the same thing the other one. When I fill up that emptiness with connection to the Shliim, so how much I'm able to connect myself here, there I'm able to connect myself even more, because we don't have the materialism that blocks us, so it's even much more. That means haskan atzmu leproza, whatever you're going to prepare here is what you're going to have there. So Rusha said, the Melech says in Puzik, Gam Shom Yotchu Samchayne v'Sechazayne Yemenechu. That means right now you're preparing yourself for Shom after 120. But Rabban Shloim, help me, I should be able to do the job here, that Gam Shom, just like I live here, Yotchu Samchayne, in this Fahrenheit, which doesn't come to the Fahrenheit that's there, and I'll listen Yeminchu, and it's actually a that opportunity. So then I should be able there also, the fire will be 10 times as much as we say. There I should also live with it. So we have to ask and ask with pros the West. We have to live with that here in order to get there. So we're coming back. So where's a person have the courage to take it to get there? Dafke from oilam asir. Only when you're doing something. When a person is not doing something, he's just talking about it. He never confronted himself in oilam asir doing things and seeing suddenly he doesn't know how to do it. He has to get out of bed and he's sitting there and busy meditating how to get out of bed. He ain't going to get out of bed. You have to get out. You have to keep on doing things in those seconds. The thing you're in turmoil, and keep on doing the things that you have to do without the machshava. Then things will start moving. That means, as we talked about in this past, we need the doimio, the time, space between from when the coping mechanism gets me off track to the coping mechanism adjusts itself. But that a person has to do things. So that you do things in the oilam asiyah, that's where we meet ourselves with the Avoidas in the koiches that we need here, at the oilam haba that we need here. That means if we don't go through that procedure, that's phase one. Phase one is, number one, you must have tzaddik. Number two, you must have chavayim who to speak to. But all of that, if you don't have a job, as we say, if you don't have what to do during the day, you're just waiting from one meeting to the next meeting. You're not doing something, building yourself. As I say, you have to know what am I getting up in the morning to do. Then to be by myself is not enough, and to do without to be is also not enough. The whole we're here is to connect the to be and the to do and the to do and to be.
Right, so that's what I was going to ask. That if we have to be in the Olam Asiyah, how are we being in the Olam Asiyah?
Okay, so that's coming back where we started off. Why am I in Olam Asiyah? I'm Olam Asiyah, so I have to, everything that I do in this world, I have to always, the years chatter, I'm doing it in order to connect to myself. Why? So we find the hill, the guy came to the hill and told him, I'm ready to be Megaya, but I don't want to mess up, because every place that I went, all the religions that I was in as Yisrael, everyone told me it's going to be okay, and Yisrael did all the Avoidas, and it's all, there's always some black spot where they're hiding themselves, and you can't get them there. So what did you find here? The Trashi found here, Kriyas Yamsef and Mohammed Samulik. It's the first time that we're telling the truth. Your emptiness ain't going to go away. Bush used to say, you get Navem arrogant. Why? Because once you're a good student and you're ready to connect yourself, I'll show you your emptiness, but not that you should fall there, in order to get you moving closer to the higher power. That means, let's say, take it from money. The more a person needs money, the more it's going to work for. If you got a Yerisha there for millions of dollars, and then that's the recipe for destruction. Why? Because there's nothing missing. That means everything that's missing, the human being was created Enosh. Enosh was created to get chila in such a way that it's always be missing, and it'll always be have to add on. So everything that I go to say Rachman there by benching, we say Rachman by benching, we say the Kishbocha should help we should always be connected. So then actually that itself, I'm using the doing for connection. So it's even everything that we want to do. If you're davening, there's a song about it. Every time you go down, it's just the opposite way around. I don't know how I'm going to go down.
I know the song is completely wrong. No, so the Olam Asiyah.
So again, if you're sitting down, oh vini malkaini, but you're not an Asiyah, you're just filling it up with very good language, but it ain't going to get you, because if you don't go to the, you can sing, but sing from. So I have in your mind that Shlomo Gubi learns Petuach Kol, and the guy that's teaching him, I'll tell you the truth, all the techniques and all these tricks that I'm doing, if you're going to sing from your emptiness, believe me, you don't need all these things. People will buy it. I mean, at the end of the day, all these people are just jumping around there and doing all these. I'm trying, but the one that's doing from inside doesn't need nothing. It starts moving all kinds of people around you.
So the Olam Asiyah needs to be done.
Everything that's
right. It can be sound like keep yourself busy, doesn't matter what, rather than going into depression, which is also good. Like keep yourself busy.
Again, so depression is busy.
The goal is not the being busy.
But we have three options, says the Bush. Every time we meet that helplessness, we have three options. The options, the bad habits come first, because the body wants to fill it up with what he can give you. What can he give you? He can give you gava. Gava, he says, it goes in either to have chaos and do all kinds of stupid things, and I'm right, and try to explain me even that I have 100 טישים, or the other way around is have chaos. In order to get to this shiftless, as we come to phase one, as long as I don't have that tzaddik emes, and I don't buy him in order because I have another. I walked into someone in New York, and he was sitting in the office. He had a very nice picture of the Brooklyn Bridge, nicest bridge place in New York. And on the back, on one side he had a picture from his Rebbe, a very nice picture. On the other side he had a very nice picture from a monkey. So this is the Rebbe, this is the monkey, and this is the bridge. That was the Agdur from the richtige Olam Hazeh, as everything. the monkey, or this, he has a bridge, and he's going one to the other. And as long as I don't understand, I'm not living it actually, because every time we say Yerida Shalom Aleichem Lipa, every time that we give, every time that Hu gives us a Yerida, we call it Tzorech Aliyah. Moich Aliyah. Shekman Shtadot. Veloz's chapters, Veloz's Yisir. Now the pshat is different. The Baruch created the world that the Yerida, that he let himself down here and put me down here. He wants me to bring Aliyah, to recognize that Gam Bet and Shoel Shivat Alecho, in the lowest places we should recognize it, because that is, we're not supposed to say, but that is actually what was missing in the B'Yisrael. There should be a nivru. There should be a finite which looks for the infinite. The more the finite looks for the infinite, that is Maloi Chalutz Kavoida. That is the kuvah that Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world for. That means, but he's not going to put me down here without all the essentials that I need for that. So Kodesh Baruch Hu gives you aliyas, hatzluchas, wife, children, whatever you have, but you'll always be missing. But he gives you all those aliyas that you have in order to help you when you go down to the Yerida. You shouldn't feel yourself all the way empty. That should give you courage to make that the aliyah. But if you learn that all the aliyahs that you have is me, and you're not learning from the emptiness that the aliyahs is not you, then when you come down there, you always get nervous. So David HaMelech actually decided, why do you have to go so far away of all the aliyahs here? Let's take my breathing. We'll go down to the smallest part. One person, Kodesh Baruch Hu took a person, a human being, which is מהאדמו, Ufa to Ufa Tushe, and he made a whole form. It's Elam Alekim B'Loisai, and Vayipach Ba'apav Nishmas Chaim. So that was for the Bonishlam Kaviyuchel, for the Shechin Aliyah or Yerida. That means he took part of his achiyus and brought it down to this world, the lowest place that can be. But he gave you that neshima, he gave you that breath, not for the breath, he gave you that breath for the next breath. I want you now, I gave you chiyus, and every time I'll take away I call it the outhailing, that it's actually losing your breath, but not losing the breath. I gave you a breath in order that you should be able to take a new breath. So that's a new opportunity. That means that is the whole life. As long as we have opportunities, we're still living. The minute we don't have the alte Yidut, to stay toch in the Pshir, so tit megun is wahr, that's in the Leibshemish. That means as long as I don't, and as I will put it into the Megillah, we can put it into the Megillah already before Purim. We say Purim was the Zman for Kabbalas HaTorah Merutzen. Like Kabbalas HaTorah was Kabbalas HaTorah mi Kfiyah, Kufalem HaKigigas, and now was Kabbalas HaTorah Merutzen mi Ahav. What is difference? Because Pius talks about it, that when they got out of Mitzrayim, day one they forgot the danger that they'll be able to go back to Mitzrayim. So they started getting mon, slov, mimes, and they're not a bad hotel, and they had every day and they saw Har Sinai, everything was couldn't be any better, and there was Achdis and all of that. So the Balatanya calls it Kuf Aleim HaKigigas. Doesn't mean that he forced them. He took them around just like a hug. When a person hugs me so strong, I just don't know how to get rid of him. Because the hug was so strong that we didn't know that it was made as a big fear.
So they wrote in that week that actually gave them so much love that they wanted to say yes.
They didn't know way to say no. But now here by Lahashmed Laharig Alabed, they saw the danger that they are. So then comes the tzaddik, which we call Mordechai, and comes to Esther, and Esther's asking, "What are you doing?" What do you mean, what I'm doing? You know what the danger we're in? Yeah, but over the Melech Shloi Kados is Avadati. So you tell me, listen, you think you're going to you're going to save yourself and everybody's going down. If you were going down, you're also going down the drain. And so what should I do? Believe what I'm saying, says the Tzaddik Emes. Mordechai was the Prince of Tzaddik Emes, and he gave them the koach. We have to go into the fire. Mordechai Judas Kol Hashana says, alles was die Chulim zu wissen, hat schon gewiss. That means, as he was talking, I was able to accept it. But then comes Esther Malka says, well, is anybody here with us together? That's one said, nicht bishal am, das ist ein fragen, der Krein ist seine Masken zu machen schon. Aber immer fragen die Meulen, seine Masken zu machen schon mit Thomas. What would you say if they give you the option? So she said, I cannot go on my own. I must have everybody with me. I must have the Avoidas, as we call it. So she gave a condition. Knoises kol ha'yidim, tzimi olai, and they're ready to do something for that. So then I know they're serious, but they're not ready to do anything for that. So now she has the tzaddik emes, she has the whole world. Now what's with her? V'chein uvoy al hamelech, that I'm ready to do too. Even though I know ovadati, but I know that only through doing I'll be able to get the koiches, the new koiches that I have to do in order to go further.
Only when I release my breath, I can get a new one.
And what happens when I get a new one? The Melech Esho, Masha answers Mucha. No, what would happen? Zelensky would answer for Trump Mucha. They also send them home.
What could have been worse?
Also send them home. Time vacation. That means she came in there. Vatiga b'rosh hashavet. Shavet, they say, is the Melech holds on to the only place where you can meet the Melech is by kasha or vadati. Then, if you keep on going in Asiyah, keep on to Rosh Hashavet. You came to Rosh Hashavet, you have any answers to everything? I don't have answers to anything. I just know that things are going to change. This is what the Zohar Kodesh says, man de is b'yir, les b'choyser. What's going to change? I have no idea. But I took that choyser that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me, that emptiness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me, to the right direction, to connect to Him, so I let Him run the show. Baal Shem Tov calls Hashem tzilchu, just like a shadow does whatever you do, the shadow does. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ready to be your shadow. When you take that emptiness and don't see it's harming you, it's giving you opportunity. So you're letting the Rebbe Shalom give you an opportunity that He wants to give you, but let Him in. He's knocking on the door. Let me in. So she's inside already. She messed herself up already. She's inside already, and she doesn't know what to do. So what do you answer? You live now with the Holy One. You say, right now, thank you for taking me in. I see this serious business here. Give me another day. That means let's leave it to tomorrow. That means a person that gets nervous that he must have answers now, then he disconnects again, because every time that he comes to that now and he gets nervous, he's not ready to stand that emptiness. So Kodesh Baruch Hu gives you another emptiness. What happened the next day? Next day, suddenly she tells the truth. Comes the Melech and asks him, who is the one that's doing this? You know, the Gemara says she pointed her finger at Achashverosh. And the Malach moved her finger to Haman. That means even that's minimum to go in and say it's Haman. I also mess up, but if once you're ready to surrender yourself, this says Kabula Sataya Mirutzen. If I start going in this mahalach, and I see that I can't mess up, like Kodesh Baruch Hu gives me that actually I'm messing up, not that I should look how not to mess up. I should be connected, and I can't rely on myself. That gives me connection. Then it's Kabula Sataya. That means you showed me how nasty I am and how much I cannot connect without you. So that Torah is there all along. Simcha, Susain, Vikar. Die Gemara sagt, Euro, sie Teure, Simcha, Yontif, Mille, and Tfilm. Says this for Simmons. Until then, Tfilm was another way to fill up your day. And the Torah was also another way to fill up your emptiness. And Yontif too, and Mille too. Suddenly we see, no, it's just the opposite way around. The oil that I have, I'm using the Torah because I'm in a darkness, and the oil gives me light. I'm using the tefillin, vikor, that gives me the koach, that ties me down to the arrangement, and everything that we have. Bris is also chaverim. That means the tzaddik emes. That's the Torah. He gives me the Torah. The chaverim, that is bris. Bris means achdus. And the last one's tefillin that ties me up. That's the asiyah, the only asiyah that we have, that a person should put on tefillin every day. And the two approaches. That means, but we're doing it. Even we're doing it very simple, but that simple side is we cannot do it without, that we cannot use the chokhmah that we're learning here, that tzaddik is giving me, and the chavarim are giving me, without doing it lemaisa.
But still,
questions.
Have a birth with lack, with something missing all the time.
Yeah.
There's
As
no
long
perfection.
as no perfection, that means we're in a world we're in a world that people look to be perfect, and a guy we said last week can find it because he doesn't have such a chelik l'kayim mal, so he can talk into himself. And but the Yid, I was sitting there, Zelensky, he couldn't take that perfection. I'm giving you strength, we're doing we're this or that. And as a father, he felt the emptiness there, and he couldn't take it.
No, I'm talking about the sense of perfection, the sense of I can.
Again, it's questions. What's expected for you to be perfect in materialism or in spiritualism? As long as I'm busy with materialism, then I'm off track. That was a Kodesh Baruch Hu created us, that we're always bounded, mugbal, we're always finite in our thinking, our doing, and our talking. And every time a person wants to say something, he gets stuck for no reason, but he gets stuck. If he wants to do something, say, but that stuckness is not it. The not to give him, it's to give it to him in a much connected place to the higher power of his own power, but he wouldn't be missing. He wouldn't be looking for it. But as long as I don't have it, the clearness that emptiness is there in order to help me, not in order to mess me up, and I'm looking, and I don't know how to find it, I start deciding that the bunch is messing me up. The Torah messing us, so I go into certain chaos, or I just start going to hiding in Yish, that I even mess it up more because I think that I have to do it. Once I understand, I did mines and then let the Bernshlem do. So actually, he's helping me go because we're not going to volunteer to go to the Bernshlem if we're not forced into the Balkoch Chai. It's a different type of Balkoch. Balkoch because he's not talking clear what he wants. He's very, 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 very weak PR, public relations. But we have to. That's we need the tzaddik emes. We need the chavarim to say I wasn't it. And so things are getting worse, but things are getting better because the simcha that it brings me. And they say one of the Chabadska Rebbes, I think the Balatanya was in jail, and after he got out, he said, if anyone will pay me all the money in the world, I should go in again, I ain't going in again. But if anyone wants to buy off what I bought there, I ain't selling it for any money. So again, we're not supposed to go in there. We're not ready to sell it for anything.
So I'm not looking for inner peace, and I'm not looking for.
I'm looking for inner peace. I'm not looking for inner peace with spirituality, not with physicality.
There is inner peace in spirituality.
There is, because that is Ein Sof. We are connected.
So you always feel lack.
But I lack because I'm
spirituality.
low. But lack of spirituality is something that gives me calmness, because I cannot be. If I would have a Menschlein that I can understand, and then I don't need such a Menschlein. That means he always has to be stronger than me, and he always has to be smarter than me. That means the more I learn, less lemegame klum, where I'm ready to say I don't. That's the place when the Esasar Punim, like this work comes in. Where I'm not ready to say, to see my emptiness, I don't let into the Bernstein there. But once I let into the Bernstein, so what does he want? There'll always be less machshuva tvisa. There'll always be an emptiness in the spirituality. But whatever I need, what bothers me is not the spirituality. What bothers me is the physicality, which is empty. But if I know the physicality, emptiness of the physicality brings me to spiritual, then the goof won't have the pain, because the pain is always in the hover, the pain in the present. Mm-hmm. The pain is not from the future. The pain is not from the past. That means if I'm a pain now in the present, so then I start thinking about what's going to be tomorrow. So I add on to the pain. Or I think about what was in the past. I add on to the pain. But if the pain is only in the hover, and I use that pain in order to connect myself, so then I'm able to connect to the spirituality. But once I start hurting myself and going out of connection, every time I think about tomorrow or yesterday or other people and other places, I'm disconnecting from spirituality and trying to fill it up again with physicality, and then I mess it up again. So you got phase one? I say we can't. It was the Yotzat from the Besisul. Besisul said, "Klal gudel b'chsidus and klal, v'gam ze lo klal." That means, but this there you cannot say you can't tell people what to do. So everyone has his specialty, what he's special for. I heard a good mushal. If you have a box of crayons, and the box is closed, so all the crayons have the same color. Once you open up the box of crayons, and the light shines on the crayons, every color has its uniqueness. But if you can take out a crayon from the box, the green one, then it loses its uniqueness, because you can think everything is green. It's only when it's together with other people. So we always try to run away from the differentialities, and that actually gives me my uniqueness. So that I have to combat with. That I'm not. How they say. Everyone's laughing at me because I'm different, and I'm laughing at them because they're all the same. That means as long as I have to be the same, I cannot be myself. But if I'm ready to be different and keep on being with the cloud, that means cloud gudel b'chsidus as a shtukan cloud. Everyone has to be for their own. But that is also not a cloud, because we have to find ways how to be connected.
Be individual without breaking the rules.
Exactly. It's very nice. Yeah.
That's good thoughts.
Shkoyach. Kaltisch. Das alles Masken, die Pose sagen.
Ja, schwierig. Guten Tag, Saram. Darfst unheimlich, darfst.
Sadikamas. Hast du was die Mann Sadikamas hast du? Das ist gereizt.
Mehet. Nach der Heet. Guten Heet.
Ja.
Good.
Thank you very, very much. Coming up every week.
Spinka Rebbe, Spinka.
Any questions? No questions? What is on do? I can always go fancy about. Isn't that? Waarschijnlijk hij het zegt houten. Maar besyncha schach jolie als de schleime had het altijd nog niet. Zei de gemo. Houten zeer stoïs.